What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Sensei Glove, the bald-head black anime nerd, back with my review of One Piece manga chapter 954, Like a Dragon Growing Wings. And I'll just say right off the bat, this was a really good chapter. Like, this chapter was fucking fire. But like most of Wano, I'm gonna have the same complaints with this chapter. I don't want to say that it takes away from the chapter, but it kind of really does. And these complaints that I've been basically saying for the majority of the Wano arc have been taking away from the arc itself. But nevertheless, a lot of things are moving along here in Wano, and I really fuck with that. This was another well-paced chapter. I dare say it was like even faster than I would have wanted. Like previously, I know I stated that I kind of want him to skip past a lot of these moments and give us like one panel for a day and stuff like that. And he was going into a lot of that for this chapter. So I fuck with him for that. But in doing that, you have now off-screened a whole lot of shit. And it's like, Oda, like, come on, bro. You know what the fuck we want to see. And it's almost getting dangerous at this point because we are dangerously close to the festival with a whole lot of hype going into this festival. But it's almost like we don't have any reason for the hype because a lot of the shit that we should have been hype about coming up to it has now just subsided. And it's kind of like over with. Obviously, there's still some hype there, and it's gonna be hype because, you know, the mystery in One Piece is its bread and butter, but it's just hard. We start off this chapter with Kawamatsu, Hiyori, Zoro. They're having this conversation about, Zoro receiving Enma, and we learned that Enma is one of twin blades because apparently Odin was a two-sword style master. One of twin blades, one blade being Enma, the other being Habakiri. It basically means like serpent slayer. So, obviously this is like a blade that we're all speculating is going to kill Orochi or be used to kill Orochi. I have no idea what these blades will be used for. I don't even know if these people are going to die, if I'm being completely honest. One blade was given to Momo, the other blade was given to Hiyori. The whole while that this is happening, Kawamatsu is basically saying, no, why the fuck would you give him this blade? And I agree, Kawamatsu. Why the fuck would she give him this blade? Because there's literally no reason for Zoro to have this blade. Like, this is a family heirloom. It should mean as much to Wano as Shusui does. So get the fuck out of here trying to give her this blade. And this is only one of many moments of Hiyori being kind of either dumb or sketchy, because I'm not rolling with this I'll give up my father's blade shit. But it's further cemented when Zoro basically says, you know what, yeah, I guess I kind of really didn't earn the blade. It was already stolen. So what the fuck? Like, so now, not only do we have Hiyori acting hella sketch guy, we now have Zoro acting sketch guy because, nigga, you have never, ever, ever, ever wanted to give up a blade for anything, nigga. Anytime you ever didn't have a blade, it was because your shit broke. You've never given up your swords. You always wanted to get your swords back, no matter what the fuck the circumstances were. And for all intents and purposes, he earned Shusui. Shusui chose him. That's what Ryuma said. And he even brings up the fact that, yeah, I did meet Ryuma, even though it was just a chorus and we did fight. And Kawamatsu's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Which I'm also would be tweaking off this because y'all are really fucking tweaking. So at this point, this is something that I really didn't like about not only this chapter, but just Zoro in general. Like, I'm really hoping that doesn't play out that way because that fucking sucks. Like, I want you to get another sword and I want you to get an upgrade, Zoro, but I was hoping that was what the Nidai Kitetsu was going to be, not this Enma. Like, now you just have a supreme grade sword off GP. Like, no. And you get like, what? When have you ever just been gifted a fucking sword? Like, Shusui chose your ass, bro. The other swords, like, chose you. Like, the Sandai chose you. Like, come on, bro. That shit, I'm not rolling with that shit. So I was a little disappointed with kind of how that Zoro stuff ran. But we kind of move forward. And the next thing we get is a full page, like a double spread of the conclusion of whatever the fuck happened between Law and Hawkins, which is insane. We just get a panel of Hawkins cut in half with Law standing over him with his blade out, basically questioning a man, and we get the reveal of, or at least kind of more of a backstory on how everything turned on its head with the, Hawkins Kid Apu alliance. Basically, we find out Apu, like I fucking said, was a fucking op the whole time. Hawkins confirmed that he was already under Kaido. He was already working with Kaido and set us up. Funny as hell that Kaido just happened to drop in on them, but it was a setup. He was going off their ass to Kaido the whole fucking time. And obviously, as we know, Hawkins is a numbers guy. He plays with the Toro cards. He plays with the percentages. If it ain't looking his way, he not finna go for it. So he didn't put up a fight at all. He just was like, well, there's no chance in us winning. I quit. Kid and Killer did, and that's why they ended up in the predicaments they did. And that was something that was easily, like that conclusion we could have came to that conclusion really easy. But it was nice to hear that Apu is definitely a bitch and has always been a bitch. Another problem that I have in this panel is obviously the off-screening of this fight. What the fuck? These are two of the most technical fucking characters in One Piece, and we get off-screen? Like, their whole fight gets off-screen. And not only is it off-screen, it has left more questions than any fucking thing. Like, I don't even feel like this is resolved. Like, I feel like it's resolved, but I feel like I got cheated. Because what the fuck? Hawkins had the upper hand the whole time. The entire time. He had no reason to turn over the dolls of Law's crew. He had no reason to do any of that. Law wasn't in a position to negotiate any fucking terms. We learned in this same chapter, he already knew that Law and Luffy were in an alliance. He already knew what the fuck was going on. If anything, he was waiting for a moment to spill the fucking beans because he snitched immediately. So I really I'm super fucking confused as to what that situation was even about. At first I was under the impression that it was a time jump, or we were getting shown some things that happened kind of before, because we know like a few, I don't even know how many chapters it was it 3 chapters, 4 chapters ago, when at the end of a chapter it showed that Law was captured, and then the next chapter kind of showed an exchange between Law and the Beppo pirates. So it was like, which happened first? Did the exchange happen and then he was getting interrogated, or he was getting interrogated then the exchange happened? Like, how did that play out time wise? And that was something that I was confused on, and this makes it even worse, because y'all had a full-fledged fight in this fucking jail cell. Like, in this little ass jail cell, y'all had a full-fledged fucking fight. We don't know where the fuck Drake is, but at the end, he basically shows up as a silhouetted figure as Law's leaving, walking out the prison, and he says, well, if you letting me go is supposed to be part of your plan, then I'll join happily. It's a silhouette figure, but we all know that's fucking Drake because it was telegraphed to us when he was acting all suspicious with Hawkins that it was gonna be, it was him, and he was on some shady shit. Now, this is very interesting. Now, this whole scene is interesting, honestly, because holy fuck, we finally got a conclusion. We know who's better. Fucking Law beat Hawkins, so clearly he's better somehow. But now, the whole Drake flip, I personally was waiting on how that would turn out, because as we learned at the end of this chapter with this whole big alliance thing, there has to be, I guess, a third party in this to kind of even the scales, and not necessarily even the scales in terms of Luffy's side or the pirate side, but more so just even it out so it isn't just an overwhelming force against an underwhelming force. Thinking to myself that Drake's flip is gonna be that he's actually like an undercover agent, like on his Corazon shit. So he's because he used to be with the Marines. So he's undercover, fucking with Kaido, trying to get us to a point where he can help the Marines take back control of, or open the borders to, and get some type of influence in the land of Wano. And that has to start with taking down Kaido, but it's obviously been a secret operation. No one knows what's going on. But I'm thinking, Drake is using this opportunity to launch the attack, and if anything, that's going to be something that he explains to Law, like, yeah, we got the Marines showing up, they're going to be here the night of the festival as well, some shit like that shit'll be super fucking hype. From there we go back to Udon with Luffy training. At this point, 2 days have passed because it's 5 days left. We started with 7 days left. Old man Hyo's basically in his here like, hey, remember how you lost, remember there's a monster you need to take down, remember how that felt. If you don't master this, you're going to get your ass beat, so nigga, learn it. He punching like a steel wall trying to get it right. So I'm assuming by the time of the festival, Luffy's going to have some type of control over this new ability that's going to help him hurt Kaido, I guess, get through Kaido's tough skin, and then, you know, maybe we'll be able to beat him. I have no fucking idea. But, you know, that's it. And I'm glad that was just one quick panel because I didn't want to spend any more time in fucking Udon. And that's, you know, kind of speaks to more what I was saying about Oda moving time along. He just skipped 2 days and 3 panels, so I fuck with that. From there, we cut to, you know, the Braided Hat Village, back where everybody's linked up. All the samurai got the swords. Frankie's there fixing the ships. Everything's going fucking well. Everybody's linking up. Everybody's doing their job. They fixing up the symbol, basically explaining what the symbol means. And when we get to this part, I'm painfully reminded that this shit is shit that I don't care about. I don't give a shit how they're trying to approach Onigashima. Like, you'd rather spend 3 pages on this strategy than give me the Law and Hawkins fight? Like, are you serious, Oda? Like, are you fucking serious? Like, I don't, like, this is the shit you off screen. This is the shit you spend one little bubble on. You know what I mean? Like, you give one bubble to the new symbol stands for the lizard fucking harbor because that's where we're gonna be. When you put 2 legs on a snake, it becomes a lizard. So that's where we're gonna leave from. You could have gave me that in one fucking bubble. But instead, you spend 3 pages on that. And while the 3rd page does that have that amazing spread of, you know, the 7 retainers, Zoro, Sanji, Nami, Robin, like all of them just sitting up looking fucking bossy. Even though it gave us that, dude, I would have much rather seen the fight between Law and Hawkins and even how that conversation in that situation turned out than to this. Honestly, it's kind of crazy because 2 days have passed. They have begun strategizing on their attack. Momo has met up with everybody. Everybody met up with everybody. Where the fuck is Hiyori? Because she's not in this fucking picture. A lot of people have been saying, well, she's going to get the sword. Bitch, you had 2 days to do that shit. Why are you not at this strategy meeting? Like, why are you not meeting up with them? What are you doing? I know that Momo said that he wanted to wait until after the battle to meet up with her. And, you know, she also said it might be better if they meet after, but don't purposely make them not see each other because, like, what? I understand Oda might want to make, you know, them seeing each other a big thing, but where the fuck, like, where are you, shorty? Like, not only that, why is she not here and Kawamatsu's here? Why the fuck are you not protecting her? Like, what the fuck? Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, that shit is sketchy. So in my head, I'm thinking she's probably with Kyoshiro, or she probably linked up with Kyoshiro at some point. But even if she's meeting up with Kyoshiro, I'm not rolling with anybody just letting her go off by herself, especially not Kawamatsu. We cut back to what we learned, that there is actually 2 ways to enter Wano, telling us about a secret passage to get to Wano that isn't just the waterfall. People can go through an underground passage, but you have to have clearance from either Kaido or Orochi. Through that passage comes Appu, that fucking op-ass nigga. He didn't want to miss, he says he didn't want to miss the festival, but he came in with these things, I'm gonna say things, called the numbers of Onigashima. We are shown these 2 kids that are watching them enter Hakumai. Appu's on the phone with Kaido. You know, King and Queen kind of overhear this and they're like, oh, the numbers have returned. Queen's like, were they even fucking invited? Like, they some super drunks. And then we get a panel of them, which is just a whole bunch of like monster looking shits with horns. It's a lot of speculation around these numbers creatures. So a lot of them think that this, you know, they're related to Kaido because they have horns. Kaido has horns. They have clubs. Kaido has a club. I mean, that's fair. That's a fair assumption. What I initially am thinking is that they're the Flying Six. And the only reason why I say it, I know a lot of people say, no, they can't be the Flying Six. Flying Six is something different. I'm rolling with that because numbers, 1. 2, we still haven't seen the rest of the Flying Six. Obviously, we know Drake is one of them. We know Page 1 is one of them. Obviously, none of the people in this picture look like Page 1, but he very well could have just been fucking replaced. I don't necessarily know if I'm rolling with you know, Kaido having just regular ass siblings or children or relatives or anything like that. I don't know if I'm necessarily rolling with that. If they are the Flying Six, that makes a lot of sense. Page 1, X Drake, X means 10, like, you know, they could just be random number or have some type of random number in their name, and that kind of adds up to it. But if it's a different set of people, now we on some whole other shit. GB, a friend of mine who's on the Worst Generation podcast, shout out to GB and shout out to the Worst Generation podcast, he kind of put into perspective for me the way they appear could be how we're seeing them from the eyes of the kids that were introduced in the panel before. Oda has done this before, like with the Big Mom backstory. We were seeing things from Big Mom's perspective, and from Big Mom's perspective, she was eating cake. But from the perspective of everybody else, she actually just ate people. It very well could have been construed that way. I'm rolling with that again, because they could just be the, Flying Six, and the kids just think they look like that, but they actually look regular, or how we would expect One Piece characters to look. From there, while they're on the phone, Big Mom and Kaido have chummed the fuck up. Queen is just as surprised as I am. Well, not really surprised, because I knew they were going to team up, but how? How? Fucking how? We now have 100 Beast Pirates and Big Mom Pirates alliance. They say, we'll go back to killing each other after we've ruled the world. What, bro? Not what they became an alliance. Because I knew that they were going to become an alliance. How? Like, what happened? Again, why would you off-screen that? Yes, you on-screened their clash. Why didn't you, I would have been okay with you coming at the end of the clash. Yes, I understand there was a time skip. 2 days have passed. But something, give me something that leads to an explanation for why they are even remotely okay with this. He has to be saving all of his writing capabilities and fight writing capabilities for this festival. Oda is gonna have to do some doctoring with this arc, bro, for it to even be remotely close to Marineford. Like, I don't know if he was gassed up and saying it's gonna be like Marineford because we're gonna have 2 Yonko together fighting all the supernovas, and then we're gonna throw the Marines in there at some point. Yeah, that's a whole lot of shit, but then, Marineford was epic off that, but there was also a lot of story implications that led us there that we knew full well what happened. It's kind of slow here. Like, we don't get a Zoro backstory. Zoro says he wanted to go to the grave site. He didn't go, or at least we didn't see him go. We don't know if he has a sword. 2 days have passed. Why is he even taking a sword in the first? I don't know, man. With all of that complaining and neverthelessing I did, this was still a fire ass fucking chapter. I give it a 9 out of 10. 4.5 out of 5. Like, it was really fucking good. He's moving the fucking story along. I feel like the act is probably gonna end right when the Fire Festival begins. Great fucking chapter. Like, comment, subscribe. Fuck with your boy Sensei Lake Glove. If you like or hated anything I had to say, feel free to comment. Let me know. Follow me on Twitter at Sensei Lake Glove. Follow me on Instagram at Sensei Lake Glove. You can at me all of your complaints with this review or with this chapter. Shit, I don't give a fuck. Other than that, fuck with your boy Sensei Lake Glove. Out.